Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has donated an amount of 10,000 cedis for victims of a flood disaster in the West Mamprusi municipality of the Northeast region. Dr. Bawumia is in the region to commiserate with flood victims in the West Mamprusi area. 3 communities have been affected, leaving a 3-year-old dead and about 700 residents displaced by the floods triggered by torrential rains. The displaced residents were rescued by NADMO and sent to temporary shelters in nearby communities. Joynews correspondent Eliasu Tanko, who has been on the ground since yesterday, reports that the victims have abandoned the shelters and returned to their communities. Here is his update.
The neighborhood of Kukwazuku here, this is a primary school that was designated as a temporary camp for displaced people yesterday, and we know that in 2 communities about 700 people were displaced as a result of the collapse of 2 local dams in the area and weeks of torrential downpour. Now these people, some of them, we understand 70 of them were brought to this particular school facility, and as you can see from the background, their items being packed there. We have some of the items in the veranda. As you can see them, some of the items are also in the classroom. This actually is an uncompleted school building, and this morning we are here. The people themselves are not here. Our understanding is that the people somewhere in the night requested to go back to their flooded communities, and so managers of this facility had no option than to grant their request. As we speak, we can see their items here, but the people themselves are not here. Some of them, we understand, have also moved to relatives, family and friends in this particular community. Others, as we understand, have also moved back to their community. So this morning we can say that yesterday these displaced people were brought here. Unfortunately, they have left the place after they made a request to managers of these facilities to allow them to go back to their communities. Some of the reasons that they gave, as we understand, is that they still have some of their members, their family members left in their community, so they have to go and join them. So you can see the background there, their items, but the people themselves are not here.
Eliasu Tanko brought in that report. The Northeast Region NADMO Director Alhassan John Kweku has been giving us also his update on the damage.
We have in Banawa, we have 13 households that are affected. Then 11 houses are completely collapsed. The number of rooms, we have 46. Keta, we have 19 households that are affected. Total number of persons affected, 215. 26 houses are collapsed, completely collapsed. The number of rooms, 112. Gagbini, 37 households are affected. Total number of persons affected, that's 400. 17 houses are collapsed. 183 rooms are affected. Then Dimia, we have 11 households that are affected. 173 persons affected. Then we have 4 houses being collapsed. Number of rooms, 43. So in all, we have number of households that are affected are 80. Total number of persons involved, 938. Number of houses that are collapsed, we have 58. Then number of rooms, that's 384. So not more, like you said, we were here yesterday when the incident happened. Myself and my men with the police were all on the ground. The MCE was there. We had to help the people to evacuate them to a safer place. Even we identified a place in Walawale and then Diani, that's one of the schools where some of them slept. And those who slept on the road, we tried to persuade them to go to the schools there to sleep. They didn't heed to that. And then we prepared food last night. We went around, we distributed the food. We provided them with mosquito net, mosquito coil, blankets, and the distribution is ongoing. Just this morning, we are arranging to bring some relief items to come and then support them again. It's unfortunate we are seeing this, like what the woman has said, because you can't be standing looking at your building being collapsed. So it's just gag beneath that the entire community is collapsed. And we've also advised them that, you know, the rooms are mud, they're mud buildings. So we advise them that because the ground is saturated, they should stay away from the houses for now. So we are trying to do our best to see how we can support the affected victims.
Have you been able to get an understanding from them? Because I came from one of the schools. I'm just coming from one of the schools that we designated as a temporary camps in Wale. And the people, I saw a few of their belongings there, but the people were not there. And the information that I picked is that somewhere in the night they requested to come back to their communities. What is the reason why they refuse, or they are refusing to stay in these places that you have asked them to stay?
Well, I can't tell, because we've done everything possible to make life comfortable for them. Yesterday, myself and the MCE and my men, together with the police, we're just pleading with them, because it's a natural disaster. Nobody has control over it. So now that it has happened, let's see how best we can get you to a place that will be safe for you for now, so that we'll see how best we can put up life back to normalcy. But they didn't heed to the call. But some of them heeded to the call. When I was coming, I went to the Diani. Some of them slept there. They were being supplied with food items, and then the support that we're having.
Let's get to Eliasu, who is live from the Northeast region, for us to get more on this. Hello, Eliasu. Eliasu, can you hear me?
Hi, Gifty.
Great. So where are the residents at the moment?
Yes, Gifty, I can hear you.
Yes, go ahead and tell us where the residents are. Do you know this?
Well, earlier on, we visited some of the schools that was designated as a temporary camp for these displaced persons. We went to a school around the Kukazu neighborhood. We did not find the victims. We saw only their belongings. But later on, we heard, or we had information that Sambo building and also some schools in the municipal capital itself. Also, in the Banawa community, there is a school there. That is where these people are. Municipal authorities here.
I can see clearly that it is not raining at the moment, but have the rains stopped between yesterday and now?
Well, this morning we have few showers. The rain has stopped now. Yesterday too, there were some few showers all day. This morning, as you can see, the weather is a bit.
This morning, as you can see, the weather is a bit very clear as we speak right now. So since yesterday, only this morning that we have few showers, but as we speak right now, the rain has stopped.
Let's talk about the residents and the victims, those who have been affected by this flooding. How are they coping, and is it safe for them to return to their communities?
Well, it's a very difficult situation for residents here. Unfortunately, some of them refuse to go to these camps that has been designated by the municipal authorities here. We went to the Banawa community this morning and also visited the Gagbini community, which these two communities are hard hit by this latest flood. And they told us that they wasn't sure that the municipal authorities will bring them back to their communities this morning. So when we went, a lot of them slept with some of their relatives in their community. Others too, we saw their belongings along the main Nalirgo-Wale road, and they told us that that's where they passed the night. And so their reason is that they wanted to sleep in their community so that the early morning they will be able to get to their house, their homes, and try and see if they will be able to salvage some of their properties. It's a very difficult situation for these people. We, in one of the houses that they are sleeping, in one of their relatives' houses, we counted close to 15 people sleeping in one room. And you can imagine these are just small, muddy rooms that we have 15 people in there. So it's a very difficult situation for the people, especially the residents of Gagbini and Banawa.
Well, hang on for me, Eliasu Tanko. Let's hear Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is today in the region assessing the damage and making some donations himself. Let's listen to him.
I heard about this disaster. that has befallen my own people. And because of that, I suspended all campaigning, and I have rushed home today to see for myself what has happened. The heavy rainfall has caused a collapse of many buildings, and unfortunately many of these buildings were built with sand and mud houses, and so the force of the water has resulted in a collapse of many of these buildings. And so you have displaced people. So far, we've estimated about 80 households, but there are more who have been affected. So far, for about 4 or so villages, we've counted about 58 collapsed buildings. And so there are many people who have been affected, and they are being temporarily housed in a number of schools. And this is one of the locations where they are being temporarily housed. NADMO has acted quickly, has brought some relief items, including food items, including mattresses, buckets, mosquito coil, and other items, rice and sugar and milk for the sustenance of the people for now. We are also adding 100,000 cedis to them so that the food items that are required will be purchased, more will be purchased. I've asked that at least 500 bags of corn should be purchased to supplement what has already been brought. But by the grace of God, once the rain stops, we will support them to build their houses again. And we pray for the rain to stop, and we hope those houses will be constructed in a better way to withstand future flooding. So this is what brings me here. Thank you very much.
That's Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia there. Ilyasu, are you anywhere close to where the Vice President is, and how has his intervention or his visit to the area been received?
Well, very, very well. His intervention has been received very well. The people there was very grateful to the Vice President for that rapid response. I mean, the incident happened only yesterday, and today the Vice President truncated his campaign tour in other parts of the country and rushed to the aid of these people. And so they received it very well. The money was handed over to the municipal chief executive for onward distribution to the victims. But as we speak, these victims are still occupying the school buildings, and we understand that these monies will be distributed to them very soon.
Thank you very much. If there is any other detail that our viewers ought to know, do give it to us. Otherwise, that will be it for me.
Well, as you heard the Vice President say in there, he will be personally supervising what is going to happen in that particular area. He assured the residents that the government would help them fix their broken down structures. And he also promised the people that government would not leave them behind. And his message was well received. The donation was actually done in the community of Banawa, which is some few kilometers from the municipal capital. As we speak, the Vice President is meeting with the municipal authorities, and from there he will get back to Accra.
Thank you very much, Ilyasu. We'll get back to you as and when we should. Ilyasu Tanko is our correspondent there, bringing us up to speed on what's happening. More flooding up north that's cutting communities off and rendering several people, in fact hundreds of people, homeless.